The following program is presented by the Metropolitan Library Service Agency.
Hello, welcome to All About Kids, a program focusing on the interests of children and young people and some of the issues affecting them. Our guests today, Andy Williams and Tina Harris of the St. Paul-based Workers Organization to Regain Confidence, will be talking about how they work with youngsters in the Frogtown Summit area of St. Paul. They're helping these young people develop self-esteem, self-responsibility, and self-discipline. They're also helping them to develop positive ways of getting involved in the community. Later on in the program, we'll be hearing from some of the students involved in work. They'll also be performing a special rap which they wrote for All About Kids. Andy, Tina, I'm delighted to have you here on All About Kids today. We're going to be talking about a really wonderful organization, Workers Organization to Regain Confidence. It's an interesting name and certainly a very, very interesting program. Andy, you're the founder and the current director. Tell us where you got this idea and what your motivation was.
Well, the idea comes from the needs in our community to develop a program in an organization who are concerned about our future, to bring in people who wanted to work with our kids and have our kids to be part of our future, not the victims of it, and to educate our kids to a degree that they can become self-sufficient minded and support the community rather than being eyesore to the community. So putting together WORC was fun for me, and it has been fun for the kids who we work with and the parent, which have participated quite a bit into making this. And I would like to thank this great organization, that it is, and the future that it's going to bring to our community and with our kids. So
at this point, you're working with about 125 children in various neighborhoods in St. Paul, and the kids come after school in the evenings on weekends, and you have things like physical education programs, you have cooking classes, you do a lot of talking.
Oh yeah.
And as I understand, one of the things you're interested in is developing the young people's self-esteem and helping them learn to communicate better.
Right.
And Tina, you are a board member. You're also the parent of some children involved in work, and you're the aunt of a couple of the young. We're going to be seeing all these young people later in the program, and they're enthusiastic and articulate. Why did you get involved?
I had got involved because of Andy Williams. He needed more parents to get involved. So I was willing.
And you see it as a real positive thing for your children?
Real positive, yes. For not only my children, it helps me also.
Well, one of the things I was interested in when we were talking about this was the fact that children who've been involved in this program for a while, their grades are going up and they're doing better in school.
Right.
And sometimes the communication at home is a little bit easier because they are learning how to talk to adults.
Yes, because a lot of kids there, you know how they get in trouble, arguing, fighting, and we don't have that in WRLC. We teach them discipline.
Well, I was very impressed when the young people arrived today in the studio, and discipline in a very positive way. I'd say they have a real sense of responsibility, the older children looking after the little ones and respecting each other's opinion, but yet very enthusiastic about the whole idea. So this is something that you're working hard.
Right. I think we're at a time where young people have to feel that they're part of ownership of its community and everything that go on, give them a greater responsibility to making decisions and don't have to second guess. I think this Let's Talk program that we have, it more or less build a confidence within every individual on when they're supposed to make a decision and then what purpose the decisions supposed to be made. Number one is discipline. Number two is talking out what your feelings are. Then you don't have to try to deal with a monster inside of you.
But you're talking about some hard things. You're talking with these young people about racism and AIDS, drug addiction.
Well, if you don't have a total package of what's going on, you can't educate, and that happens with adults too. You can't educate the kids. We've have very intelligent kids throughout America, so they just want to feel that they can share, and they want to feel that I know that they comprehend what's being taught to them. And when we tell our kids what racism is about, we teach them the difference in prejudice and racism. We talk about hating people because of their color, which gives them some racism knowledge on how to deal with that and don't be part of these kind of things. We teach them it's very ugly and you're not to participate in these kind of things. We also teach them what prejudice is. Anyone can be prejudiced of a person because they're just jealous of their appearance or might look a little bit better for some reason. And we're very careful with that. We also talk about the awareness of AIDS. We're looking to have a good future in these young people. So we want to save them. We don't want them, because they don't have the knowledge of how you can become an AIDS virus victim. We want them to know that they can stay away from it. And one of the things we teach, we don't teach them the safe sex and having sex.
No sex.
We teach them, no sex. That's the safest sex. So we're looking at a total package in order to develop our young people.
And are you cooperating with any other community programs, or do you feel that there is a lack of programming that focuses on these specific issues?
Yeah, I think now a lot of organizations have found the only way that we're going to do anything is come together and network and give different people different pieces to work with. We network with Youth Gang and Drug, quite a few of our surrounding supporting agencies. We network once a month and come up with better ideas what organizations are dealing with different programs. Yeah.
Have you had feedback from elected officials in St. Paul or some of the community leaders?
Yes, all of them.
Funding is a problem, I would expect.
Funding is a problem. Everybody want to help, but nobody want to fund. We find that hopefully that we can get some people to help fund our program, because when funding a program that's out there networking, we're not only doing something for, quote unquote, those people. We're helping ourselves, because if our kids go out in the community and vandalism and so on, that bring down our property values and that skyrocket our insurance. So when people pool money into an educational program like WRC or any other program, like the library program, what you're doing is you are helping people become self-sufficient. You're supporting these people who want to be about something, not the people who are part of the system. You got people other way against the system. You got people a part of the system. So supporting any program that's out there networking and doing the kind of educational things, it eases our burden a lot. We're looking at a good future rather than a future spending a lot of money on a problem. We're talking about dampening the root cause of a problem. So that's what we do.
And you're working not only with African American young people, you're working with white kids, with Asian kids?
Any kid that in our system can be a problem. So we got to push that black and white aside, that yellow or whatever, and start to focusing on the root cause of the problem that are there. And I think we all can be educated from the kids, how hard they work, what they put into it in the community, and we can focus on making our community a better place to live.
What about involvement from other adults? Do you have people who are volunteering to facilitate groups or to share their expertise with the young people?
Yes, we've had a little bit. Tina has been one of the most supporting, not just a board member. She has been supporting, a supporting, strong advocate in that department. She driven over here today. I went back home and got my car, and she was willing to drive. We are looking for volunteers to help us out. We're looking for school teachers. We definitely need that. We're looking for career people who can help these kids focus on a better life.
Kind of a role model. I was interested before the program when we talked to some of the young people about their ideas for what they want to be when they grow up. And they have, well, there are some dancers out there, but there's a judge, a young woman who wants to be a judge, and a lawyer, and very, very articulate. And it's certainly something that you, as the director and a board member, can be proud of encouraging these young people. What about more militant groups in the community that think maybe this is not the way to grow, or?
Well, you're going to get those negative people anyway. In fact, that's one of the reasons that work was needed in the community. We've seen the recruitment of our kids being recruited by gangs and so on. And it's not altogether kids are taken to that. These kids had a low self-esteem, most of them. How to deal with these kind of things and so on. We don't care what other militant groups think. We're concerned about the growth of our community. We're concerned about strength in our community, good, strong decision making in our community. And we've got gang members have been to our meeting, but we tell them once they walk in that door, we want the cap straight, we want the pants up, and we want some good, strong leadership potential. And we have, in fact, we have 3 gang members in to work with them, and they work with us, they respect us, we respect them. As long as they respect our community and our kids, we will respect anything that they do as long as they don't do it where we are, you know. So, but we want to develop them into a better.
Well, do you as an adult who's worked with kids, I think, for quite a long time, do you think that sometimes the gang members are looking for somebody in the community to give them a little self-esteem?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes. In fact, I was talking to one the other day about participating in our adult program to share some experience with us and so on. So we're going to be doing some support groups this summer, adult support groups. And I've got eyes on a couple that's going to come in and help us, and we're going to help them. Oh, yes. It's
interesting, too, that you're fostering a real sense of civic responsibility in these young people, with having them go out into the neighborhoods and picking up cans and cleaning up alleys. It's quite remarkable that you're able. It's hard for parents sometimes to get kids to do stuff like that around the house. What's your magic way of getting them to do it?
Well, I don't think it's a magic way. I think it's the educational piece that we do, having them to feel like they're part of the owner of a community rather than just somebody that's living in it. Well, I don't care, it's not mine. Teach them the true responsibility and the civic duties of every individual, and having them to be part of it. These kids go crazy over it. They just happy to do it. And these are the kind of things that we see that's going to happen to make a difference in our community. So I'm proud to know that I don't have to beat them over the head or something. They're ready to go. They're ready to follow me any place, to do anything, and we try to teach them positive things.
Well, let's listen to what some of the young people have to say about their involvement in work. Andy and Tina, thank you very much for being with us today.
Glad to be here.
Glad to be here.
We're here with a lot of you young people who've been involved in work. Some of you have been in it for longer than others. Melissa, you are one of the oldest young members of this organization. Why don't you give us your name and tell us a little bit about how you got involved and what you've done since you started?
Well, my name is Melissa Williams, and I got brought here from Mr. Williams, and I thought it was gonna help a whole bunch of kids out, and I just thought I would be in it.
And how old are you now?
13.
So you've been in for 3 years.
Yes.
What are some of the things you've done with work since you started?
Well, we try to keep people off the streets and help other people out in the community, and we did lots of book reports and stuff like that.
So you meet after school and you talk about different things and you talk to each other, get to know people from different schools?
Yes, we like working with kids, and so we have to help them out once in a while.
Well, what are some of the things you do to help them out?
Well, we help them stay off drugs and keep off the streets and help their behavior and everything.
Is that kind of a hard thing to do?
Well, not really, because the kids here listen, so it's not that hard.
Mondre, what about you? You've been in this program for a while, too.
Yes. I think it's a good program to help teach people how to respect one another and to help each other solve each other's problems. And
What are some of the things you talk about at your discussion meetings?
we talk about the difference between prejudice and racism, and
Now, I wonder if a lot of adults in our community know that difference. Can you tell me what you've talked about? What is the difference between prejudice and racism?
well, prejudice is pretty much unlike a person because of their skin color or their fat or skinny or whatever. And racism is basically, I'm not too sure. I say that people just don't like one another, pretty much.
And so some of the
The color.
things you're learning in work is how to talk to other people and how to get past how somebody looks, whether they're black or white or fat or thin or young or old.
Yes.
And work has been able to help you with that?
Mm-hmm.
That's terrific. What grade are you in?
I'm in 7th.
And you're 13?
Yes.
And what's your last name?
Davis.
Davis. Okay. And what about you? You weren't waiting for that, were you? What is your name and how old are you and what school do you go to?
Donita Osborne, I'm 10, and I go to Battle Creek Elementary Mental Magnet.
What are some of the things you've been doing since you got involved in work?
Pretty much like getting straight B's, learning how to act before I behave, getting more educational facts.
So this has really helped you get your grades up. I bet your parents are happy about that.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you like best? Are you doing the cooking program or the physical education or what sort of things?
What things do I like best? The cooking class.
What have you learned? What recipes?
Like how to cook cakes, brownies.
Does she share with the
Spaghetti.
rest of you?
Yes.
When you cook at the program, you get to eat? That's good. But basically, you found this really helps you out with your schoolwork.
Yeah.
That's terrific. It's kind of awkward. I'm going to turn around this way. Excuse me, Mondre, and we'll talk about you. Daryl, how old are you?
8.
And what is your whole name, please?
Harris, Daryl Harris.
And how long have you been coming to work?
2 months.
What are some of the things that are fun to do?
Taking cooking classes.
Are you making cakes too?
Yeah.
Do you like being around with the other kids?
Yeah.
Do you go to class with all the big kids, or are you with more kids your own age?
Bigger kids.
So that's kind of nice too. Is Mondre kind of like a big brother to you?
Yeah.
And I understand that one of the things you're talking a lot about too is African American history.
Yeah.
What are some of the people you've talked about? You've been talking about Dr. Martin Luther King and
Yeah.
some of the very famous people who've helped our country a lot.
Yeah.
Terrific. And we have Brianna here, who's not old enough to come to work yet, but she's visiting us on the program today. Do you have anything to say, Brianna? I'm glad you could come. And you're here with a friend of yours? Or your sister?
Cousin
Cousin. Okay. And what is your name, please?
Lanisha Holly.
Lanisha, what do you have to say about work?
Well, it helps you a lot to get better grades and helps you to stay out of trouble.
What do your parents think about you coming? Are they glad that you're in a program like this?
Yes.
What about Mr. Williams and the other adults who help you? Do they help you really learn to talk about things? And
Yeah.
Mondre talked a little bit about prejudice and racism. Has being in work helped you understand a little bit more about some of the things that are happening today in the United States?
Yes.
Have some of the things that have happened been easier to understand because you've been able to talk about it in some of your discussions? That's good. What school do you go to?
Gautier Magnet.
Gautier. What's your favorite subject?
Math.
Oh, good. You learning how to use computers?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Now we're moving up to one of the other longtime members of this organization.
Hi.
Hello. What do you have to say? What is your name, please, and your age and your school?
Angela Barrage. I'm 11. I go to Gautier.
And what are some of the things you've been doing since you got involved with work?
We go places. We go see like special peoples like the Minnesota Twins and stuff.
Did you get to watch them last year during the big 91 season when they won the series?
No, but we got to meet them.
Great. Which players did you meet?
Carrie Puckett. I don't know the rest, but
Well, that must have been exciting just to meet Kirby Puckett. What are some of the other field trips you've had?
went to Duluth. You go roller skating for
You were,
activity.
excuse me, you were doing something special in Duluth, weren't you? Did you go up there for a program, or were you part of a conference?
Let's go see the police officer
And what did you talk to the police officers about?
about what we're going to do in Duluth, and we're talking about the people in jail in Duluth.
Mm-hmm.
So there's about 79 people in jail probably now.
79 people in jail in Duluth.
What, like 19 or something?
Oh. And did the officers have any questions for you? Were you able to help them out with some of the things they were working through in Duluth?
Sort of, yeah.
Did you get to see Lake Superior?
We got to see it, yeah. We were supposed to go on the boat, but we didn't.
Well, it can be pretty cold up there to go on boats, especially if it's not summer.
I know we did go on a summer day.
Okay. What about you? How old are you, and what is your name, please?
My name is Chandra Davis. I'm 12 years old.
Chandrea, how long have you been going to programs at work?
2 months.
And so you're kind of a new person. What has changed since you've started going? Do you just enjoy it because it's fun to go after school and meet some new friends? And
Yes.
are you taking the cooking class too?
Yes.
What about the discussion groups? What do you think about that? It's not always easy for kids your age to talk to adults about anything, much less some really important issues like the things that you've been talking about, prejudice and racism, and what you're going to be when you grow up.
I think it's good.
And it's easier. Is it sometimes easier to talk to your parents or to other people in your family because you've had some experience in work?
Yes.
Anything else you'd like to say about what's going on?
No.
Maybe later. What about you now?
My name is Maisha Holly. I'm 11 years old and I got here.
And you'd be 4th or 5th grade?
5th.
How long have you been going to the program?
2 months.
So did you two kind of start together?
Yes.
Is it easy to come in, even though some of these kids have been in longer than you?
Well, at first I was nervous, but I'm not anymore.
Well, that's good. What made you decide you wanted to try work?
Well, my mom, she, at our church, my mom, she got introduced to Andrew Williams, so he kind of got us into it.
Mr. Williams is real concerned about young people having places to go and things to do after school.
Yes.
Has it been fun working with him?
Yes.
Great. What are some of the plans for this summer, 1992?
We was going to go back to Duluth, and then we was going to help some of the people like in jail.
What are you going to do for the people in jail?
Well, like a discipline thing, like help them with their problems and their problems with their family.
So you would
their
sort of
attitude.
be there to talk to them about ways that would be easier for them to talk to their children, maybe, or
Yes.
do you get some classes or do you do some talking about how to talk to adults?
Well, yes, we have educational classes and cooking class and physical class. Physical education.
I understand you've been doing some surveys in your own community. Now, you all live in St. Paul. What part of St. Paul do you mostly live in?
In the Midway area, east side, and side of University.
Okay, and what kind of surveys are you doing? Anybody?
Community work,
Community work. And what kind?
like picking up streets, sweeping alleys, helping the elderly.
That's wonderful. Do other kids see you doing things like that and want to know why you're doing that?
Kind of.
Do other adults say, what are you up to?
Yeah.
And what do you tell them? You're just sort of setting a good example by taking some pride. You're learning a little bit about civic responsibility.
Yeah. And we pass out flyers. Frogtown flyers.
And what do the flyers say?
Tells you about Frogtown or something.
Okay.
And we help Fair Share.
And what is Fair Share?
We pack food, like beans or popcorn.
So for people who need to use the food shelves, you're helping out with that.
Yeah.
Sounds...
We got pictures in one of our Fair Share newspapers.
Well, congratulations. I think a lot of communities could use more volunteers like all of you. We've got a few minutes left to talk about what's going on. Mondre, do you have anything else that you'd like to add?
During community work, we might sometimes pick up the streets, in certain areas, and let's see, and then in our Let's Talk program, we'll talk to each other, about stuff in the news and stuff that's been going around lately, and share each other's different opinions, and
that helps.
Yeah, that helps.
Understand some of the things that have been going on.
Yeah, because some people always might know more information than the other person, so it's pretty helpful.
So learning to talk with other people about things that are problems can help everybody, can help us all, right?
Yep.
Well, we've got a minute or so left, and I understand you've prepared a song for this afternoon.
Yep.
And I'd love to hear it, so I'm going to hold the microphone out, and will you all sing it? Melissa, I understand you are going to be the leader, right?
Yeah.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Daryl, you set? Okay.
We don't want no dope, it's killing us. We don't want no dope, it's killing us. We don't want no dope, it's killing us. Let the dope man know, say what? We don't sell no needles, it's killing us. We don't sell no needles, it's killing us. We don't sell no needles, it's killing us. Let the sellers know, say what? We don't want no AIDS, it's killing us. We don't want no AIDS, it's killing us. We don't want no AIDS, it's killing us. Let the victims know, say what?
Terrific. Thank you very much for being with us today on All About Kids.
You're welcome.
Lots of enthusiasm and commitment for everyone involved with Workers' Organization to Regain Confidence. Thank you, Andy Williams, Tina Harris, and a special thanks to the young people who are with us today. Thank you for joining us on All About Kids. Please tune in again.
This has been a presentation of Hennepin County Library in conjunction with the Twin Cities Metropolitan Library Service Agency. We thank you for watching, and we hope you visit your public library often.